Okay, Mother Mary, I'm gonna need someone to hold my hand and tell me what happened in this movie. But the main thing I'm thinking right now is how much I would have loved this movie during my childhood evil witch phase, where I thought I was an evil witch. Or at least I lied and told my friends I was an evil witch. I'll tell you about that later.
In the words of Aretha Franklin, great gowns, beautiful gowns. Okay, we made it to Mother Mary. It finally got released in small town America.
Small town America of Chicago.
It's finally gotten what they've been clamoring for, Mother Mary in theaters.
We did it. We saw Mother Mary.
Was there a line out the door for your theater and everyone said, "We've been waiting all week for Mother Mary"?
I mean, as is often the case, as the movie was starting, I was like, "Oh, we're the only people here." Crazy. It's 7 p.m. on a Friday. And this movie came out today. Now, I understand. I think a lot of people probably went to see Michael. I think that's like the big splashy one of the week. I couldn't be less interested. So like,
no, I'm staying far away from that.
Yeah, no, not even like in a controversy averse way. I'm just like, I just don't like music biopics that much. But I do think that's what people were at. It's like either that or whatever 10 kids movies are out.
Yeah.
And the people of Illinois were not super interested in Mother Mary.
Shrek is apparently back in theaters.
Is it? Is it like a Fathom Events thing?
I think it's the 25th anniversary, and it just makes me kind of wish that I watched all the Shreks quite recently at home, just because I hadn't seen them in a long time, and I'm like, damn, I wish I hadn't. It would be fun to go see it in the theater.
I do love Shrek. I don't think I've seen all of them, but man, that first Shrek, it was unlike anything.
That was my first like CD that was like my CD that I chose and like made my mom play in the car like every single time we were in the car, like where we had to have like negotiations where like she could listen to her thing before I could listen to my thing, because all I wanted to listen to was the Shrek soundtrack. And I of course thought that those were all songs written for the movie. And so I was like, God, Shrek just really inspired some great music. And that made sense to me. And it still does.
I like Shrek now in this phase of my life. I am hesitant to bring this up because I don't remember the details entirely, but I know that it's like essentially written to be kind of a fuck you to Disney by a former executive or something, like that like the beats of the story and the stuff they really hit on was like supposed to be like, you guys fucked me over.
Yeah. There's even like the Lord Farquaad Kingdom, there's a whole thing where it's like Disneyland.
Yes. And I think I'm in a part of my life where I think that kind of stuff's really funny. As a child, I wasn't aware. I guess I was a teenager when Shrek came out. The first thing I think about, listen, we're going to talk about Mother Mary in a second, but while we're on Shrek, we used to, listeners, here's some inside news about mine and Emily's relationship. We used to go to Universal Studios Hollywood once a week.
It was one of truly the best years of my life.
It was a very happy time.
I think on it fondly so much. It was when you could, like, as a Southern California resident, you could get an annual pass for the same price as just a day ticket. And we were roommates, and we lived 11 minutes down the freeway from Universal Studios. So we would just go all the time.
And And so one time, and we also like roped other friends into this
Yes.
as time went on.
Yeah.
And there was one friend we went with who I just remember you're passing this area that has like a little Shrek like kiosk show, like a little puppet show type thing, and someone's doing Donkey, and Donkey's talking to the I'm doing a puppet motion. And Donkey's talking to the crowd, and we're passing it, and this friend turns to me and goes, I think it seems like they would have asked first in the interview if you can do an Eddie Murphy voice if you get this job. And that joke has like nested its way into my heart for years. I think about that. It just made me laugh so much because I was listening to the Shrek voice going, I can't quite tell what's wrong, but something's wrong.
It's like this person's only job is to be Donkey. And honestly, it might be a white person under there from what it sounds like. I don't know if that's allowed.
It's none of my business.
Do you remember the cauldron cakes? It was like my favorite snack on earth. And then like they discontinued it because they said it was ugly, and then they replaced it with like a really bad cauldron cake.
Yeah, I feel like they replaced it with like a fucking Hostess cupcake or something.
Yeah.
Like it sucked what they replaced it with, but it was like a really dense brownie cake thing, right?
Yeah, with like a chocolate molded like handle and little legs.
It really was so good.
It was so moist.
I do feel like if I go back in my photos, I have like you look demented in the photo, I'm sure, because I was just like taking a photo really quick of you just like overjoyed with a cauldron.
And on one of our last trips, I had said for the whole year on our last trip, I'm going to get a Minion sipper. And I got that Minion sipper.
I definitely have that photo.
I carried it around like a baby all day.
And I got the donut sipper. And then I also got like a cocktail and got drunk accidentally really fast for like 20 minutes. And then immediately lost the donut sipper. Anyway.
I remember that. You left it on like the
ride.
The one of the rides. Yeah.
Hagrid's little birds ride.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I do have to say something else that is not about Mother Mary, which is that you saying that Shrek is in theaters again reminds me that I saw a trailer that Ocean's 11 is coming back for the 25th anniversary.
Never seen it.
That's in my Letterboxd top 4, one of my absolute all-time favorite movies in the world. I think it's the most fun movie that exists.
Wow.
We will talk about how canceled some of the men are. I don't know.
Yeah, in a heist movie with a bunch of men, some of them are going to be canceled. It's fine.
It was the 90s. I love that movie so much, so I'm very excited to get to see it in theaters again. Steven Soderbergh's finest work, in my opinion.
Maybe I'll go see it. I'm just like not that into heist movies, but I feel like that's like the heist movie, so maybe I should see it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be hard pressed to think of anyone who wouldn't like it. It's just kind of like a fun. It's like friends having fun. You know what I mean? Like all those men being. I don't like heist
movies, but I do love movies about male friendship. So
I do. I genuinely do.
So
I think that is the result of Jackass coming out when I was in high school. For me. Anyway, on to the topic at hand.
Oh man, I could talk about Shrek and Universal Studios all day.
Well, save it for the Patreon when we launch something there.
Okay. Mother Mary time.
Okay, so right out the gate, did you like the movie? Did you have another feeling with regard to the movie?
Look, did I like it? What a complicated question. No.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I had more fun than not fun.
Okay.
But there were like 45-minute stretches where I was like, what's up here?
Yeah, there were pieces I liked.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, I was just like, how much longer? The whole time I was just like, this should have been a play. Like when a meeting should have been an email, this movie should have been a play.
Which I think comes up sometimes, like that, you know, and I can see how this happens on the creative side, like a director and actors. These are such actors, Anne Hathaway and Michaela Coel. This director, I can see that he just likes acting and actors, and you know what I mean? And so that is
Yeah.
how I think you end up with this could have been a play type of movie. But yes, I'm with you. I would say the first 40 minutes where they're just sort of, it's just barn arguing.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't hooking me, but I do logically understand that stuff, that something needed to be there that illustrated everything about them, like the entire history of their friendship, their skill level, their careers. Like, I get that something needed to be there that did that. And if you have these two actors and you just want to unleash them in a small space, like, I guess this is the way to do it. But it was a tough hang for me.
Yeah, it felt like this is the kind of movie where you're like, oh, I can see why the actors were super excited about this movie in the way that actors are excited when they get to do theater. But even honestly, like they were acting their asses off, but sometimes they were acting in a way where I was like, this feels like stage acting, not screen acting. You know?
Yeah.
Where it was almost a bit much for like even my favorite set pieces, like the ones that like where I was like, oh, this is like actually a moment where I'm like kind of excited about what's happening. There's set pieces that like are staged like a play. Like they were done like you would do it on a stage. Like primarily to skip way ahead, but like when Anne Hathaway is like, you know, kind of losing it and it's her constantly going like up the steps, down the steps, back up steps, down steps. I'm like, that would be so cool on a stage.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of my favorite sequences, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it was
liked it.
It was probably my single favorite. That was the only time where I was like actually like feeling something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it could have been done so cool where it's like Anne Hathaway and Michaela Coel, and then honestly, like maybe a different actress being like Mother Mary Anne Hathaway, because there's so many things where they sort. Anyways, I'll stop talking about how I just think it would have been better as a play, but that was my main thought throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. Essentially the movie for me started once the flashback started in earnest. I liked Michaela Coel's flashback with the ghost. And then I liked Anne Hathaway's thing with she's Mother Mary and she's going on and off stage, and it's this, you know, it's sort of these like entangling tragedies of her relationship with Michaela Coel's character Sam has ended, and she has no, like, I'm a sucker for these stories that are like fame is bad. Fame is bad and actually the loneliest experience anyone can have, and she wanted to do something for her birthday and no one is there that isn't like her employee, like isn't someone that she's paying, and they have you know, classic situation, gets haunted. Classic situation, FKA Twigs gets you haunted.
We've all been there.
and but it's manifesting as like sickness or something, and no one, it's just like, I don't know, I found that sequence like that stuck with me a lot, how sad it was that like stuff was wrong with her and people are like, get her an IV, just get her the fuck out there again. And I liked the stage performance stuff enough, like the stuff where they show her on stage. I gotta talk about the music though, because this, I'm, FKA Twigs is incredibly popular, but the music had her vibe, and like she co-wrote it. Charlie XCX wrote some of it. I'm like having trouble tracking
like who
made this music. But it's like Charlie XCX, Jack Antonoff's in there in the mix somewhere, which he's always at the scene of the crime, and then FKA Twigs. FKA Twigs music, it's not for me. That's okay.
Same, yeah.
That's totally okay. But I have trouble watching this being like, this is internationally incredibly popular. This is Taylor Swift level sellout.
Yeah, because it's like, I felt like she was obviously supposed to be like most heavily inspired by like Lady Gaga, right?
I didn't really get anyone like I little bit Lady Gaga. I was seeing a lot.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It felt like,
and I feel like
real mix.
That's what the filmmaker's been saying. But it's like,
yeah,
there was one song where I was like, okay, this one's like pretty good, which was like the big one where she falls off the thing. But the rest of them, it was like, if you're gonna, it's so hard. I know that it's so hard to create a famous pop star, especially like if you're trying to say that she's at the level where people are like, it was like a religious experience, I understand how difficult that is, particularly because like it's like most people, if they could have written songs that good, they would have for themselves and then done that.
Right.
I thought they did like a pretty okay job of like, just making a fake famous person is so difficult.
Yeah.
And it's like her as a persona, I thought they did a pretty good job. But yeah, the music, it's tough.
It's tough. And I think thematically, I guess the music fit with like the sort of like spooky, gothy vibes of the whole movie and the aesthetics of it. So like, I can understand it in that context, and I don't have to nitpick it. It's just that like while I was watching it, I was like, can't wait to not be listening to this music anymore. No, I'm done.
I guess most of the songs I just felt like the level of like, the song that like Lady Gaga did for the Netflix show Wednesday.
Sure.
If that was the highest caliber of like Lady Gaga songs, she would not be as famous as she was,
Yeah. And, I think I don't want to say I'm not a pop girl person, because I like love Sabrina Carpenter, right? So I love one of them. I have one that I love. Taylor Swift has bored me to tears every time I've tried. It's just not, not in a way that I think other people shouldn't enjoy it. It just never has worked for you. Same with Charlie XCX a little bit. Like I like Charlie XCX's personality, but the music, I'm always kind of like, all right. It's also, but so like in a lot of ways I'm watching this and going like, is this not a persona I just ever connect to?
Yeah.
Like Sabrina Carpenter, I feel like has spoken to me because she's very funny.
Yeah.
And that's like, I guess I need them to be funny.
And I don't think Mother Mary is funny.
I don't think
her thing is being funny.
I kind of think the name is like so try hard, kind of like it's evoking something that's like, I guess. I guess that's present here. Um it just, yeah, I don't know. It even that felt like too theater for me, which is funny
Mm.
because I do think to some people that will be a feature and not a bug. People will like that. Like the people who like theater and come to this movie, which, you know, I don't know what that what that Venn diagram looks like, but
Probably quite an overlap. I would say the people that are attracted to this movie are probably a lot of people with a real appreciation for the theatrical arts.
yes, I hope so. Because though for them, I think the movie probably works quite well, right?
Yeah.
The pop star character is kind of like try hard and over the top. It's just people talking in rooms, which usually is my thing.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
adults talking in rooms. But I don't know. It just was so I want to be positive.
You know, look, I didn't hate this movie. I just I didn't like it.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. I guess it's also just like, okay, this got me back on Letterboxd for the first time in a long time.
Wow, welcome back.
Just because all I could think of, aside from the plaything, was afterwards, I was just thinking of that meme that's like, it's always two dumb bitches just telling each other exactly.
But it's about a ghost.
Yeah. Because I'm like, these are two women who are so up their own asses and each other's asses that they would be so annoying to everyone else, you know?
Big time.
And clearly together they just make each other more annoying. Which is an important type of relationship in this world, is where two people who are really annoying and up their own asses are really in sync in a way that they get together and maximize their joint annoying sleigh, you know?
Yeah,
and
it's a symbiotic relationship.
I feel like you kind of get that when all of Anne Hathaway's people come in and they're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's a gaping
yeah.
chest.
Right at the moment when it's like the music is like, and then they're just like, what the fuck are you doing in this barn? What's going on?
Hunter Schafer, why did you let this happen?
So, you know, there are moments. I did like that, again, obviously the acting was good.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, you could really feel how emotionally and mentally fragile this woman is from the first moment. You're really getting that the whole time. And then Michaela Coel is doing a sort of there is a lot of artifice to her performance, but I think it's purposeful and that this is a person who is hurt and is trying to hide that under artifice and metaphors and everything, you know?
Yeah, and kind of seizing control of the situation with what she's saying and how she knows the stuff she's saying will land with Anne Hathaway's character. I have trouble saying Mother Mary. It just feels so stupid. But we're never given another name, I don't think. So with Mommy Mary. Yeah, and Michaela Coel also, Anne Hathaway, I don't feel like was given. You could definitely feel the hurt and the pain, and also, frankly, the sleep deprivation. But unfortunately, that is very limiting for that character. I know Anne Hathaway can do a lot, and I was a little bored with the repetition of what her character has to act like because of what she's been through at this point.
Yeah.
But Michaela Coel there were moments where she was like a little scamp, like it's just like a, kind of like running around the room in her like little, high fashion hobbit outfit. And just like throwing fabric around. I found her very like she just had a little like naughty energy. It was like more fun to watch than in Hathaway, who I was like, this lady's having a bad time, and I don't wish that on any woman.
It's
so
like she's just so sad. I do, not that I'm any sort of expert on this, but it kind of felt like it was a showcase and sort of the difference in like British and American acting training or something.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I do wish that Hunter Schafer was given more to do.
He did nothing.
Yeah, and then we'll get to the ending in a little while because I have 1,000 questions. But like Hunter Schafer gives this speech in the end that is meaningless to me. Like, and that's not her fault. But I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. But I was just looking at her, and this will be meaningless to you probably. But I was like looking at her talking and going, "Damn, she's gonna be a really good Zelda." It's like all I was thinking during her final monologue.
I mean, a big part of this movie was just like, everyone looks beautiful. Everyone looks great. And for a lot of them, that's the most I can say.
Absolutely. I mean, and because they're not given anything else. I mean, I guess I will say FKA Twig's performance was just as unsettling as she always is.
Yeah. She made a lot of sense for that.
She really did it.
She was good in her little bit.
Again, she's got a lane and she stays in it. And I like that for her. Again, not the music for me, but I do like that she's got an audience. I mean, it is funny that there are like, it makes me think about the fact that there are pop girls for like every type of person. Because like FKA Twigs has a massive following.
Totally.
There's Ethel Cain has a, you know what I mean? There's like Ethel Cain, or who's that? I feel like I'm gonna sound like a grandma. Who's that lady who performs Dirty? Like her face is like filthy.
Is it Slater?
No, it's Isella. So Sophia Isella. Have you ever?
I don't even know who that is. So you don't sound like an old lady. I sound like an old lady.
Okay, incredible. Well,
I've been thinking a lot about, I'm gonna say this wrong, but Lauvi.
Okay, yes.
Just how funny it is. Her music, like just in her music, which is, I'm sorry, but like such it's Nordstrom lobby music.
It's a CD to be sold at Starbucks. Yes.
Yes. And yet she is also like immediately sells out tours, has a little like bunny mascot. Like she is also like a pop girl who gets the pop girl treatment, but then you hear her music and you're like, what?
It's jazz. She's a jazz musician.
It's like real, like easy listening jazz.
Yeah, she's a jazz singer. So, that's a really specific I mean, I like her music. But it's very much like, I can remember being like 22 and buying the CDs at Starbucks and feeling like Putumayo presents Brazilian something. And it's like, and putting it on while I cook. Or it's like, while I cook, again, what am I cooking at 22? Probably like hot dogs that I'm boiling. While I'm putting a boiled hot dog on a paper plate. Listening to my Brazilian music.
Do you remember the Starbucks free singles of the week? I loved those. where it was like little cards,
No.
and it was like free iTunes singles, and so you would take a little card and there was a code to get like a free iTunes single every week.
You know what? No, so I don't remember that, but when I worked at a radio station, we had a thing called Today's Top Tune, and it was the same kind of thing. It was like a free download. That's just gone, right? That's kind of thing doesn't exist at all anymore.
No, because you don't need to download. Like, it's just there. This is so off topic, but last night I just wanted to watch something like funny, so I started rewatching Girls 5 Eva.
Oh yes,
and one of my favorite jokes from that show is when Sarah Bareilles and her husband are talking about having an only child, having like another kid versus not, and then there's the concept of the New York lonely boy, which is the only child boy in New York who whose best friend is the doorman and like only is it's so funny. And there's one joke where like she's trying to like make that not happen to her like little son, and so she's like, let's dance, let's dance, do you want to dance, what do you want to do, the Elmo slide or whatever? And then he turns on the radio and he starts like grooving to the theme song from like The Daily. And it's so funny.
Oh my god, that's so yeah, strong recommend for Girls 5 Eva.
Yeah, so anyways, back to Mother Mary.
I want to touch the internet controversy third rail of the Mother Mary band who is like mad. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, so there is an electropop group that exists already called Mother Mary.
Oh, okay. You'll have to explain this to me. I haven't seen this.
So it's two, I believe they're twins. They are ex-Mormons. And it's like that comes up because it's central to their like storytelling in the music. I had never heard of them before this movie, and then their content about like, hey, what the fuck? Like, please don't do this. Please don't just make a movie about a musician with our exact name that has essentially our exact aesthetics. And I will say, I totally feel their pain, that it's like completely frustrating that this happened. I don't believe that the movie intentionally took their style. I think that what happened is that the movie didn't think about them at all. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
And I don't know that I've seen a video where they're necessarily saying that that's what happened, but they're frustrated that like this movie's coming out with this name and this aesthetic and this character. And what I really empathize with them is that they are releasing, A24 is releasing music under the name Mother Mary, and it's like Anne Hathaway singing, and that fucks up like everything.
Sure.
And it's so interesting though that happened, and I think that's like an interesting side controversy that I feel it just hearing them talk about it and then seeing the movie made me think this didn't need to be called Mother Mary at all in general. Like the Joan of Arc aesthetics were honestly more interesting than the like Virgin Mother aesthetics. I know that they were trying to do a lot of like Sacred Heart, like red right here with the halo type of stuff. I think it's not worth doing this to a small artist. And I do think someone at A24 had to have come up. And it's just really strange. It's really strange that they made this choice. I get that like they probably made the movie and then found out about this artist. And then they're like, well, fuck.
Because this movie also, it finished shooting like 2 years ago, and it was like a 2-year shoot.
That's crazy.
So it's been like, I guess I get their frustration, but I'm kind of like, Mother Mary, as that's even their name, because that is one of the most famous concepts in the world. Right. And then it's like, I have not seen their aesthetics, but it's like, of course they would be the same, because Catholicism, which if they're ex-Mormons, Catholicism isn't even their like natural aesthetic. That's not their thing either. The whole Mother Mary as the Virgin Mary concept and Catholicism, that's kind of its own thing. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, if you're leaning into the Mother Mary thing, of course the aesthetics are going to be this very Catholic aesthetic. Like,
totally. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, ultimately I think the smartest thing, like, they're just in a completely unenviable position, right? Like, it just sucks. And I don't know what could have happened differently. Because I would assume that the movie was entirely shot before A24 like Googled Mother Mary and was like, whoops. But I think the smartest thing they could do right now is probably what they're doing, which is like kick up a little bit of a stink about it, so that they just get on some algorithms and at least use this moment to like,
I mean, like, hey, now you've heard of them,
their narrative,
right?
Know? Exactly.
Like, which I'm sure you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And it just sucks. I definitely don't envy the position. It would be really frustrating. And A24, they're simply not ever going to care about any of us. I
also think, like, I don't think this movie is gonna be a massive hit with a ton of staying power.
It's like not a threat to anyone's legacy, really.
Yeah, I guess it's just sort of like, if you're not to defend the bigger company or whatever, but I'm like, if your band's name is just a concept, it's quite likely
you're gonna run into some stuff.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Also, Catholicism and the like dark aesthetics of that's the oldest taboo in the book, baby. Like,
exactly. It's
everyone likes ripping that off.
It's one of the most popular aesthetics throughout everything. Like, which is why, as ex-Mormons, those people are drawn to. I think Mormons aren't even allowed to wear crosses, right? Because Catholics love crosses more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, they do love crosses and the Pope. Those are the two main things.
I mean, Catholicism just has the coolest aesthetic of any sort of Christianity.
Yeah,
what's Protestant aesthetic, you know?
I don't even want to think about it.
Brings the drama.
Yeah, that's what Dolce and Gabbana has built their whole thing around for the entirety of that brand.
I did the halo thing, the having cool new halos every performance. I'm like, that is something that if she was a real pop star, that is something I would think was cool and would be interested in.
Yes, definitely. And is always like a cool aesthetic.
Yeah.
Choice.
Even I'm not even Christian, but I'm certainly, I hate religion, but I'm not immune to the trappings of the Catholic aesthetic.
Yeah, it's cool. What can we do? What can
you do?
I do think the halos and honestly the Anne Hathaway costuming in general, it did remind me of like Mardi Gras costumes. I was like, people make these halos every year for Mardi Gras and they try to make them freaky and weird. So you're not fooling me.
I liked her wigs.
I liked her wigs, and I like that they came off immediately and that her hair looked like shit underneath. I think that is very true to life, probably.
I
to
like
all these
that
pop stars.
This confirmed that Anne Hathaway does look better as a brunette. I mean, she never looks bad. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous woman, but it's like, wow, the brunette just really makes her features pop. I'm glad she has pretty much always stayed brunette.
Yeah, she essentially has like the facial features of a deer. She looks like a deer in the woods. Yeah, I like that this movie really made me go do back day at the gym because I was like, Jesus, how'd she get her back to look like that? It's cool.
God, I feel like I don't know if it says something about the movie or us that it's like, the aesthetics of this movie are the easiest thing to talk about, and I'm like, I want to almost like force us to try to talk more about like the central relationship and stuff. But it's like with people who, okay, with a movie that is just like two people talking, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to, they have to make you really care about what's central to their relationship.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether it's something that like you would care about, right? Like movies just have to make you care about whatever is happening. And it's like, I get what the issue was. I don't begrudge them. It makes so much sense that they have the feelings they feel about these things.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know about you, but like, I just didn't find myself truly caring.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that is sometimes a trap that like actor type play type stories fall into, these scripts can fall into, is they go straight for the intensity. And I think that we need a little bit of charm before we get there. Because like a thing about a pop star is usually that there is like a really strong charm. They have some kind of charisma that draws you in. And it's like, this lady kind of seems like she sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bad hang. She's haunted. I get it. But I think that if we were, you know, if I were asked to say what I would do differently, which no one's asked, but I'm available to change scripts. If we're doing flashbacks already, I don't know why we wouldn't have had the flashback to the relationship. There's obviously like a really strong intentional choice to not show the old relationship between these people, but without that and only referencing it, yeah, it's like I was having trouble caring about these people really at all, because I'm like, there's no charm here. These people they're in the part of their relationship where their relationship is over, and what the ghost is them.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, is like the haunting, right, of the relationship and the wound and how it stays with you when a relationship ends. And this would have been a lot more haunting of a narrative to me if, like, I would have been haunted by it if I loved their relationship before, if I cared and found it beautiful and like, oh my gosh, and they creatively fulfilled each other and they have this connection, like all this stuff that kind of gets referenced but never really shown. I think it's like what the movie did wrong, the most wrong.
And it's like they kind of try to show like, okay, these are two people who like understand each other in a way no one else does, but like I don't know how successful that was. And the movie seems confused. I know it's all tied up together, but whether the greatest hurt is over the end of the personal relationship or whether it was the end of the creative partnership, or whether it was about Michaela Coel feeling like she wasn't getting credit.
Right. And all three of those could be what it was. But yeah, I don't know that I know in the end what it was. And then also, I didn't understand the ending.
Like whether, like,
I'm being brave. Saying it ended and I was like, what? What happened? Because the way it ends is being explained, right? That's like the way it's shown on screen is Hunter Schafer is helping Michaela Coel make the dress that she's been tasked to make, and then she's explaining what will be happening in the show. But then we're shown what's happening at the show and it's Anne Hathaway going up to the stage and ripping off the elements of her old costume, and then and then when it ended, and so like one of the last shots is Michaela Coel standing on Anne Hathaway's stage, and out of her little chest wound is like the ghost fabric that is making the dress. Beautiful. But which part of that was actually happening, I guess, is my question.
I'll be brave too. I don't know, because also even Hunter Schafer, when she's giving that speech, suddenly she feels less like a character that actually exists in the narrative and more like an off the side narrator or something, because I'm like, how would Hunter Schafer know all about the fantasy here? And
the production timeline for the tour show.
Or like and it's the best song ever written, which, like, you know, Anne Hathaway says that. It just doesn't. And I get that this is like a very like artsy movie, but there were some moments where I'm like, is this artsy in a way where it's just kind of pretentious? But
yeah, and I think pretentious is okay.
Sure.
It's just that some of the stuff seemed to be literally happening and some didn't. And it was like, and that's like throughout the entire narrative. Some stuff seemed to be literal, and some stuff they would say, I know this isn't really happening, but here's what was happening. But then, like, she does jump off the stage.
Right.
And get hanged. Get hanged by what? I couldn't quite figure out. Because she wasn't on anything. The microphone was cordless. I had some questions about that as well, but I won't.
I mean, yeah, I was like, okay, it makes sense that she would on this platform be attached to some sort of harness.
Yes.
But we didn't see the harness. She stepped onto the stage without us seeing a harness get attached
around her neck.
I don't know.
Yes, so that part confused me, but then the ending, I was genuinely like raising my hand. Sorry. Which part of this was really happening? Did the dress really get made? Did Anne Hathaway really come back? Or was there just some sort of like internal healing that happened for both of them, but separate, and this was a fantasy? Was this all a fantasy? Was only part of it a fantasy? Why do we never get to see Anne Hathaway in the dress? I know she's kind of in it, floating, but I was like, the screen cut to black, and I turned to Alex, and I was like, we don't get to see the dress on her?
Also, look, the dress was like cool dress.
Sure.
Cool dress.
They're all
but
cool dresses.
I get that it's like the ghost. Which then it's like, okay, they did both see the exact same ghost. Does that mean it was real? But I'm like, okay, Anne Hathaway with this whole like, I want a dress that feels like me. I'm like, okay, this is a very beautiful sculptural red dress. Is that you? This movie did not get to me in any real way.
I think if I were currently mourning a friendship, I'd be having a different perspective right now.
I agree, but then I almost feel like there are so many other movies that do that better, because it's like, yeah, again, like you said, we don't see what it's like when they're actually friends. And also the fact that it's so tied up with hurt over the
business and creativity.
Complicates it. And then it's also like, was it just like a weirdly intense friendship, or were they in a romantic relationship? It's like there's a lot of unanswered questions, which again makes it kind of, again, that's like, plays love doing that.
Yeah, they do. And yeah, I mean, I wish I were the type of person who could like walk away from a movie like this and just feel like fulfilled by how many more questions it gave me. Like, I don't I don't think any of us want to be the please spoon feed me person, but there's got to be a middle ground, because it just feels like this was clearly aiming for something and it landed short of what it was trying to do, I think.
Yeah, I think one of my one of my biggest issues too is like, I'm walking away not that interested in the questions I have. You know, It would be one thing if it was like, I feel like it would have been effective in some capacity if I walked away and I was like, God, I just wish I knew more about all this stuff. But like, I don't care. Like, that to me is its greatest sin. And I like to talk to someone. I ran into someone at the mall who had seen it, and I said I was going to see it, and they said like they loved it.
Yeah, I have multiple friends who gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah, so it's like obviously it's getting to some people, and I get that there's even just something so appealing about like watching 2 talented, beautiful women just like do acting exercises against each other, you know?
Right.
But I just personally, even the stuff about how like fame is bad and like eats away at you, like the specific way that it was like showing that with Anne Hathaway, I'm like, honestly, Smile 2 did it better. Like a pop star being like haunted by some sort of ghost, demon, whatever, and it's making her sick, and everyone's trying to just like push her and push her and push her, and she doesn't have any like real friends. Genuinely, Smile 2 did it better in a way that feels more visceral, and I don't know.
I mean, even Conan O'Brien's podcast does it better. When he talks about the format, why he came up with the format of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and he's like, I was at my Christmas party that I host, and I looked around and everybody worked for me. Yeah. And he has said that in the beginning of a ton of episodes, and that has stuck with me more than I believe this movie will in terms of that stuff. But I liked seeing it when it was on screen, and I just don't ever need to see it on a screen again, I think is maybe where I've landed.
I was sort of into it, but then I never do this, but there was a point where I was like, you know, sticking my head in my bag to just check the time on my phone, because I was like, I have no concept of how long it's been. Yeah. And then I realized there were 45 minutes left, and I was like, oh man. Oh boy. I think it just like, I didn't hate it. It wasn't wholly uninteresting to me.
No.
But it just felt like a bit of a slog.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite part was the stairs thing. Yeah. Like that was the only really part that like felt a little electric to me.
Definitely. And I do think you know, if I were like a child having sleepovers, this movie would go crazy for that era of my life. Did you ever have like a witch or ghosts phase as a child?
I mean, I definitely had like my goth phase. And
how goth did we go?
I mean, like it was like Hot Topic goth. It was middle school. But sure, I feel like at that point I was very into like, you know, the devil and stuff. I feel like I've always been pretty into ghost stuff.
Yeah.
You like I love anything with sort of like a gothic vibe. And no, I've always been like interested in ghost stuff, I think.
I in like 3rd grade had like, I was really into like witches, and I mean, this was evil. What I did was bad.
Go on.
But you know, it was like an extension of like playing potions in the kitchen with like all the condiments or something, where I'm like, ooh, I'm cauldron. But then it grew to like, I told my friends that a ghost was haunting us, and they believed they believed me. And I think there was one girl, I can't remember disliking any of my friends, but maybe there was one girl I felt some type of way about, maybe like competitive or something, and I would say the ghost hated her. And that and like and I would make up threats that the ghost had for her, and she would like cry, and she was like really scared, and I was like, only I can fix it.
Oh my God,
And
that's so funny.
anytime in my childhood that I didn't have friends, I deserved it.
Were
It
you
was
just like absolutely drunk on the power of this ghost?
Yes, and I like don't remember it totally clearly, but I can kind of I can remember the edges of the details. Like I can remember that I was lying, first of all. That I
So
knew I
funny.
was lying. I didn't like think I saw a ghost. I was just being an evil child liar.
Okay, the fact that that's also literally the exact same thing that like self-proclaimed like prophets do is basically they're just like, yeah, the ghost only talks to me and he's mad at you. So you better do what I say.
I sort of blame it. I don't know if the timeline lines up, but in my head, I'm blaming it on the movie Practical Magic because I saw it a lot as a child.
Oh, okay, I was gonna ask if this was around the time of The Craft.
It was definitely out, but I think I would have found that scary. It's funny because I like before this in my childhood, I think I saw like The Witches of Eastwick or something, and maybe only a little bit. It gave me nightmares unlike anything I've experienced since. Like I was so fucking scared about that movie. And I was scared of like an evil witch. And so I don't know why then like a year or two later I'm like I should actually embody that.
For power.
But
to have influence and control over my peers, perhaps.
I only had 3 friends total. Nobody else at the school fucking liked me at all. And I was just abusing them. And for like a couple of weeks, I was like, yeah, the witch said you have to put this lotion I made on your arms.
I mean, to be fair, they're fucking dumbasses for believing you. That's on them, you know?
I don't know why. Maybe they didn't believe me and just thought I was being, maybe they saw right through me and thought I was being stupid. But this movie made me think of that face.
There was
a witch is here and a ghost is here and she hates you.
Well, it's also very just like, yeah, there was a ghost and it's like, what? No, I also have a ghost. And it's red.
And it's worse.
But I saw it more times than you actually.
It's in my body actually.
I remember there was one time when me and my friends tried to make holy water. I think we followed instructions from like some weird blog.
Sure.
I don't think it worked because we didn't have the full moon.
The internet does make these childhood behaviors weirder and more directed, I think. More specific. Because I was like just pouring, I think I maybe mixed all of the lotions.
I definitely did. I feel like a large part of being a child, particularly a girl, is like you're just always making potions. You know, it's like conditioner plus salt plus.
Yes.
For some reason, it's just in our DNA to be obsessed with making potions.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the movie Practical Magic simply didn't help, is all I'm saying. Didn't make me better. It made me worse.
What if with the new one, the sequel, you get back into it?
I'm open to it.
And you're like, Alex, guess what?
I'm open to it.
Our house is haunted and it's telling me that you have to do the dishes right now.
This is new. We have to cut this part out. Can't have my secrets revealed.
It's too good of an idea.
This is too brilliant. I feel we have squeezed everything we can squeeze out of our minds for this movie.
No, it's like I feel like with such like an artsy movie, it's like I feel like I should have more to say about it. But like this movie, I was like, I don't have like that many thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's like a lesson in that like artistic flair can't come at the sacrifice of, you know, character and narrative. And I just think that we are both experiencing that we didn't understand the characters enough, like that we weren't given enough of the characters to fall in love with
them.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it worked for some people though, because I want weird movies like this to get made. So like I'm glad some people are enjoying it, and you know, just like me and Taylor Swift, it's like okay that some people like it and some people don't.
Yeah. Like it's I'm glad that this exists. I just would be the same in my heart if I hadn't seen it.
Absolutely.
It's also funny that we're accidentally doing 2 Anne Hathaway movies.
I know, I was just gonna make that joke. It's like, well, welcome to the Anne Hathaway doubleheader. Next week we're doing Devil Wears Prada 2, baby.
This is officially Anne Hathaway Fortnite. And you kind of did Michaela Coel Fortnite.
I have done Michaela Coel Fortnite and transitioned seamlessly into Anne Hathaway Fortnite. So
gorgeous.
Exciting. Women are powerful.
I feel like also like, okay, one thing everyone is like, it's so cool that like a man never says a word in Mother Mary. And I'm like, I guess I just don't care that much, but sure.
That is like the vanity metric of like,
yeah,
of like feminism. It's like somehow this feminist take doesn't pass the Bechdel test. Cool.
I'm just like, all right, that's cool. That doesn't, like, I wouldn't say that makes me be like, oh, actually, I think this movie is better than I thought it was before.
Also, like, a man directed it. So like, okay. A man didn't say a word because he controlled all the words in it.
I think feminism is when no men say a word, but the sister from Fleabag says Jesus fucking Christ.
Says 5 words.
I think feminism is when no men, but Kaya Gerber.
No men, but Jack Antonoff wrote some of the songs. Good.
Like, it's like, yeah, it's like no complaints. It's fine. It wasn't for me.
Not for me either, but I'm sure The Devil Wears Prada will be for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed it's good.
I have a feeling it won't be, but my fingers are crossed as hell.
Crossed as hell.
Crossed as can be.
We'll see you guys next week for The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yay. Okay, bye.
Hello. Welcome to Medium Literate, the show where 2 longtime best friends try to sharpen up their media literacy skills by taking a new movie that's in theater each week and having a long-form conversation about it. I usually say this better than I just did, but I do think you got the idea. So my name is Monika Scott. My co-host is Emily Faye. This week, we are talking about the movie Mother Mary. And we're also talking about the Catholic concept of Mother Mary. So listen, spoiler warning for this movie. We just get right into it. We don't really give a recap. We just sort of dive in. So hopefully you saw it or you don't care about spoilers. Either way, we're about to get started. One last thing. If you are listening to the audio of this, I am just here to remind you that we have a YouTube channel where we publish full video episodes every week. So if you'd rather see our faces while we're saying these things, Medium Literate's YouTube channel is for you. Okay, enjoy the show.
Okay. That was our episode on Mother Mary. And if you enjoyed it, if you're enjoying the podcast as a whole, if you've listened to multiple episodes, WHOLE, of course. You can do us a big favor and like share the podcast with a friend. You could text a link You could also rate and review us on iTunes. You can subscribe. All of those things. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube. We're everywhere. And we will be back next week talking about The Devil Wears Prada 2. So we'll see you then.
Medium Literate was created and produced by Monika Scott and Emily Faye. Our theme music was composed by Christian Larson, and technical help is from Alex Luchin. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you at the movies.